Welcome to College Admission Secrets, specifically UC Admission Secrets. I am Coach Art, and I am going to be your host for this evening. And we have an amazing topic today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. And hopefully, if you guys can let me know by giving me, how much I love the responses. If you can give me some thumbs up or reactions, that would be amazing. So I can see, there they are. Woohoo! Okay. So if you guys can see my screen, that's amazing. We are going to be talking about how to select the right college for you. Okay, that is the topic for today. Now, first of all, just a little bit of who we are, UC Admission Secrets. Over the last 15 years, we have connected with over 4,000 families on Instagram, 11,000 on Facebook, and over 30,000 on TikTok. We have helped a bunch of students get acceptances into all the UCs, all the Ivy Leagues, and all the top 20, 50, 100 top tier colleges. And on average, 98% of our coaching families get into one of their top 10 colleges, and 93% get into their top 5 colleges. So we're very proud of that, that how successful we are with our program. Here are just some indications, some happy news from a bunch of our latest students, as you can see here, that we get acceptances from all over the country, not just the UCs. You can see here, this young person, UCSD, UCI, Santa Barbara, UCLA. So proud of this, and the person making it into the BSMD program, which is a very difficult program to make it into. USC, making it into Caltech, Mount St. Mary's, Northern Arizona, Carleton University in Canada, even, as well as Chapman, Pepperdine, San Diego State, Texas Tech. The list goes on and on. This person made into USF and received an $88,000 four-year scholarship. Also, University of Michigan. Just incredible, incredible stories of the individuals that have gone through our program and made it into their dream colleges. So what are we going to be talking about tonight? We are going to be talking about in our session, first of all, what are some factors that you need to consider when selecting a college? Okay. Secondly, we're going to talk about how to plan a successful college visit. And then lastly, I'm going to be providing you some college resources that you can use to help choose that right school. Now, always, my mom used to tell me, don't listen to strangers. And particularly, we always tell you, don't listen to strangers online. So we're going to have to, of course, introduce myself. So first of all, typically my partner in crime, Coach Tony, he usually joins me here. He is off having an amazing time. And of course, on his calls, I'm just kidding. He's at another meeting, and so he can't join us today. But Coach Tony, he is the founder of College Admission Secrets. He is one of our primary coaches as well. Was a former UC Berkeley admissions reader. Amazing stories of being an admissions reader, UCLA outreach director, even founded his own high school. So such an accomplished background, as well as 15 years and ticking, helping students get into their dream colleges. I want to introduce myself as well. I am Coach Art. I'm a college admissions coach with College Admissions Secrets, as well as I'm a parent liaison, and as well as sometimes they call me the student whisperer. But I've been in technology for 30 years. 20 years of that was involved in sports and as a life coach to students and young professionals, and have been with College Admission Secrets for over 3 years, but have helped a number of students make it into the top 20 schools in the nation. But my proud moment is my three sons. I am a dad, a parent. My oldest has just graduated from UC Berkeley with a mechanical engineering degree. My the middle son is pursuing a biology pre-med degree at University of Illinois in Chicago, and then my youngest son just recently declared to play Division II soccer at Biola University, as well as to pursue physical therapy. So proud of my boys. And so for all you parents out there, been through it 3 times, understand the possible stresses and the things that you're going through, and hopefully can give you a little bit of insight today on how to pick the right colleges, especially for the students that are joining us today. So college just ahead. Many of you, regardless of whether you are a freshman all the way to a senior, you're probably looking and saying, gosh, this whole college thing is very, very dumb. How am I going to choose what kind of college, what in the students out there? So if I can see it, oh my gosh, we are already at 206 participants. It's amazing. If I can get a reaction out there, how many, and I'm going to pose this to parents and students, how many of you, and if I want you to reply yes or no, have this whole college admissions things figured out, have figured out all this? Say yes or no in the comments, please, in the chat. Let's see what they have. Nope, no, nope. Totally, I love totally. Nice job. Nope, 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 nope. Definitely not. Okay. How surprising is that, right? Of course. That's the reason why we're all here. That's the reason why I started with my boys, because I had no idea about college admissions and what was going on, and particularly had no idea about the type of schools that are out there. So it had been 20 years from when I had graduated since my son was going to be going into college. And so today, what I'm going to be talking about is what are the things that you can do to help your student, or if you are a student, to help you go ahead and choose the type of colleges that are out there. So how do we start? Well, we're going to get started with that. First of all, the first thing that you want to be able to do is to define your goals, the things that you want to do with respect to when you get to college. And how does that work? The first thing is define your goals. What are your academic interests? Okay. The subjects or fields that you are passionate about. One cool thing that you can use, and here's a tip, and you'll see a lot of tips that I give to you, and I've probably spoken about this many, many times, is to go on to learningstylequiz.com. And what that does is it allows you and figures out and tells you what kind of personality do you have? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What is your relationships? What are the possible things that you may be interested in the future that is in line with your passions? So it's really important that you are aware of what your academic interests are. I know that's a lot of this stuff may be pretty obvious for you, but just trying to compile it in together as a dad, as a parent, hopefully parents, you can go ahead and help your students, or if your parents, or if you're a student, help your mom and dad kind of figure this whole thing out. Now, many of you probably have asked, also, what are your career aspirations? That's probably the biggest thing when they try to figure out. Now, remember, your major does not equal your career. Remember, your major does not equal your career. There are so many people that have gone into certain majors, and then when they get into their career, it's not related to necessarily the major. But it doesn't mean that your major may not be in line with your career. But a really great resource to be able to determine that is careerexplorer.com. I've probably spoken about this today. I would recommend some of the adults to go ahead and try this out, because what happens here is it is really a great website to kind of show you, based on a series of questions you answer, what possible careers you may go into. And lastly, when you're defining your goals, what type of college experience are you looking for? And here's some brief examples: campus size, location, and culture. But we're going to dive deep into that. All right, I love it. Some people say, have you already used it? And so glad to hear that. This is oh my gosh, we're ready now at 240 people. Okay, now once you have defined your goals, okay, and that's not an easy thing. So take your time, make sure that you go through finding out what kind of academic interests, possible majors, what your career aspirations are, what kind of college experience do you want to have. Then what you're going to do is you're going to research your colleges. And this is going to be the main part of our discussion. And I'm going to give you the fatherly or the dad tips here, okay? From what I've seen, as well as what you can be doing to really help you in your college search. Now, first of all, there is the academic portion of this. You want to look at the programs and majors that are offered, of course. You want to ensure that the college offers the programs or majors that you are interested in. And remember, that's from the beginning when you define your goals. You want to look at the type of accreditation that university holds. Verify that the college is accredited and meets educational standards. You want to take a look at the faculty that are there and the type of qualifications or reputation that they may have. You want to take a look at the class sizes. Now, this is really important because some students who are coming from high schools where you have, let's say, a ratio of, 1 to 20, and then all of a sudden you go to a class size of 1 to 300 because they have general courses, or maybe, smaller than that. But you want to consider the student to faculty ratio and the average class size. Next, you want to go and look at academic support services. What is the availability of tutoring, writing centers, and other academic support services? Because it's really, really important that when you get there, sometimes it's a shock, and you really need to make sure that you have support with respect to the academics that are out there and the classes that you're taking. And if you're able to find tutoring services way ahead of time, then you'll be able to head off at the pass any issues in the future. Find out if there are any research opportunities, availability of research projects, the type of facilities that could offer those research projects, especially for undergraduate students. And then lastly, look and see the type of internships and co-op programs, opportunities for practical experience in your field and in your study. Now, one great tip, you probably ask, Coach Art, where are we going to find this information? Well, hey, there's a really great website called niche.com, niche.com, and go ahead and take the college quiz. And that college quiz is going to ask you a series of questions. And out of that, they're going to provide you a list of the possible schools that might match the factors that you've considered. Okay. Next, look at the campus location. So this is important. I know that when I went as a dad with my 3 sons already and looked at the particular campus locations, there were a lot of things that I had to consider. First of all, camp size and layout. You want to look at the size of the campus and its layout, including the facilities and even including the green spaces. A lot of times it could be a concrete jungle or it could be all wooded. Like, for example, if you look at UC Santa Cruz, that school is literally embedded in a forest. Versus if you go look at, let's say, UC Irvine, there's a lot more concrete there. I know that for my youngest son, one of his criteria is he wanted to find a campus that was completely round, okay, that was like a circle or maybe an oval, just because he loved that shape, but also it makes it convenient because you don't have to be searching around, right? Another thing is the location itself. How close is it to your home? Do you want to be that close to your home? Or do you want to be farther away? How easy do you want to have access to your family? Do you want an urban or a rural setting? A city versus a more rural setting? What kind of climate? Whether you want it hot or cold or temperate? Whether you want a beach area, closer to the ocean, versus one where it's more desert-like, okay? As well as what is the type of safety of the surrounding area. So the safety is very, very important, of course, and a lot of parents, they worry about the safety of that surrounding area. Does the surrounding area, is it safe? But not only that, does it provide opportunities, or does it provide resources to keep you safe? Another important thing is the housing options. What is the availability of housing? And what is the quality of the on campus and off campus housing? I know for a fact when my son went to UC Berkeley, they only offered housing, on campus housing, dorm housing for the first year. And then the second and third and fourth year was all they had to find it themselves, basically apartments. And that was really difficult. And to understand and to know when you have to look at apartments. I know with for our experience as a dad, when you were looking for apartments, they had to look even as close to Christmas, December, January, that early to look for an apartment and possibly sign for the next year, which is in the fall, because there is just not enough housing there. And lastly, campus resources. Look and see what type of libraries there are and what kind of computer labs and study spaces and even recreational facilities. Now, one tip that I would give, or actually two tips, is well, one tip, first of all, is if there is a housing tour, make sure that you take that and sign up for the housing tour when you go and visit the campuses. Measure the room. Now, I know this is kind of odd, but if you have an ability to bring a tape measure store, measure the room and figure out what are the parameters. Now, there's some usually parameters online, but sometimes it's a little difficult depending upon the room, whether you get the accurate ones or not. And look online for the room configurations. Go to certain ones if you have the opportunity to look at other rooms to see how other students have configured their room as well and see if that's going to fit your needs with respect to the housing. Now, the next thing is, of course, and all parents know this, all parents are concerned about, and of course the students are the financial. First of all, what is going to be the cost of attendance? We all know this. The tuition, the fees, the room and board. That is easily accessible on all of the websites for those particular schools. Financial aid. What is the availability of scholarships, grants, work study programs, and even student loans? What does it cost for living? If you haven't really actually known this, remember tuition and the cost of living are two different things. You have tuition, you have room and board, but then there's living expenses in the area surrounding the college. How are you going? There could be like going out to dinner, being able to get resources just like your simple toiletries and shopping for that, shopping for food. And as well as, which is sometimes difficult to kind of figure out, is the return on investment, potential earnings and job placement rates of those graduates. You can see those online. Look and see what kind of return on investment that you would get in attending that school. If you're going to be spending the money on this particular education, are you going to be able to return that and get and pay off those particular costs and expenses? Now, one tip, and you guys probably have seen this when I've done my presentations on scholarships, is look for renewable scholarships, ones where you can get accepted for that scholarship for 1 year, and then for the subsequent years, all you need to do is to just apply and you automatically get it. And then secondly, you want to do scholarship stacking, which is, again, being able to find the small scholarships, the $100, the $200, the $1,000, the $1,500, the $2,000, and you keep on stacking them until you get the amount that you need. Now, the next thing is campus life. Take a look at the student demographics. Look at the diversity of the student body in terms of ethnicity and gender and international representation. If you're used to a certain diversity at your school or so, and you want a more diverse student body, then you might want to look at campuses that offer that. In addition, extracurricular activities. What are the availability of clubs, organizations, sports, and other activities? Is there a Greek system? Do you want to be part of the Greek system? What type of activities and clubs are there? I know my oldest, when he went to UC Berkeley, the one thing that he found was the F1 racing team, and he was able to make it on the F1 racing team, which was an amazing opportunity. And these were things that he searched up on their websites, for their campus website. What is the campus culture, the overall atmosphere, and the social scene on the campus? Or again, a Greek system or there is not. Is there availability? Does the school offer a lot of events and school events? I know when we were at, I've seen some events where they actually have some rappers that came on the campus, and they were entertaining the students, which was amazing. Also, which is really, really important, is the support services, mental health services, career counseling, and other student support services. Now, here's a dad tip that I'm going to give to you. Here's a dad tip for the parents and even for the students. When you go ahead and you visit the campus, make sure that you don't and you take a look at where the local hospital and pharmacy is. You might not think that this is important, but when the time is, if and God forbid nothing ever happens, but if it does, then at least you're aware of the type of hospital and pharmacy, so that the students that are attending can be treated as well as get well fast. Now, the next factor that we're talking about is career prospects. Now, you want to take a look and see what type of career services they have. Availability and quality of career counseling. Do they offer job fairs? Do they have alumni networks? Another thing is, what is the job placement rates that are coming out of that school? What is the success rate of graduates in finding employment in their field? And as well as, what is the alumni network strength, and what is the strength and the reach of the alumni network? I know that it's been incredible in all three schools, frankly, that my sons have been attending or are going to attend. The alumni network was incredible. And I will tell you, with respect to alumni network, here's another dad tip, and there's another tip there as well. Go look online and look for the social media, join the social medias, and this is for you parents. There's a lot of times, there's a parent social media account, let's say like on Facebook or Instagram. They are such a wealth of knowledge, especially if you're an incoming freshman and an incoming first-time parent. They provide so much support and information. It is absolutely incredible, because using the power of thousands of parents that get all these different types of information and post on social media. Another dad tip is here for your students, and this is for you students. Create a LinkedIn profile if you haven't already, and start reaching out to professionals related to your major and start interviewing them and start asking them, what do they do? Don't ask them for anything, just start interviewing them. And when you start interviewing them, find out what they do and stay in touch with them. Start building your network now, because that's going to help you find internships, possible opportunities, or also guidance and possible mentors for the future. Now, there may be also special programs out there, and you want to take a look and see what kind of special programs these schools offer. For example, study abroad opportunities, okay? Availability and support for studying abroad. There's probably a lot of you out there that have thought about, gee, it would be really cool if I could go ahead and study in Singapore, or in somewhere in Europe, somewhere in the Asian countries, and learn the culture, learn the language, as well as take some classes there as well. It's really important to look for honors programs, special programs for high achieving students, where there may be an honors college, or there may be the honors program where they provide accelerated classes or special classes or special mentorship from faculty and staff. If you are thinking about multiple degrees, see what kind of multiple degrees are available. Maybe there are not just majors, but also minors as well, and see if you can earn multiple degrees within the time frame that you are there. One of the tips is to make sure you look into the honors and study abroad programs and see the type of countries that they have affiliates to. That's really, really important, because sometimes they may not have the countries that you're looking at or getting into, or they might. You never know. Some of the things that that the students and parents don't necessarily look at, but it is spoken about when you get on campus, is the policies and values of the actual university. For example, the institutional values and mission. Are they in line with your values and your own values, the college mission? Is the academic policies, what are they with respect to you transferring your credits there? For example, if you work so hard and took a lot of dual enrollment or community college classes, and then you go to this school and they say, hey, we were only going to transfer this one class, maybe that's a consideration that you might not want to go there because all of the credits that you've earned are not going to be transferable. You want to find out what is academic probation, what's the level, if you get into any issues with your grades, and how do they grade? What is their philosophy on grading? What is the philosophy on disciplinary policies as well? Code of conduct and procedures for handling disciplinary issues. How do they monitor that? How do they manage that? Who is the body that looks at disciplinary issues? Now, one of the tips that I always say when you go and you maybe do a visit to the schools is talk to the dean of the students about your program. They have a lot of information and they can provide you with very valuable information about the particular major that you might be getting into. Another factor that you should consider is in researching colleges is accessibility, especially for those students who may have special needs. Then it's really important, is there accessible support for students with disabilities or special needs? And what is the transportation? This is really, really important. What type of transportation is available? If you're in a city, if you're in a college that is in a city, that city may offer a lot of busing or buses and public transportation, shuttles, campuses. I know it was really, really reassuring for me as a dad that my son could take the train around the city because he was in the city, or that he could take a bus and it was safe, and that they had a local campus shuttle, as well as there are also a lot of campuses that have where you can call up and you can have, let's say, the security escort them back to their dorms or escort them back to the campus. So those are all parts of transportation options that are looking at. Now, I would say is when you do your college visit, here's another dad tip: ride the public transportation. I know that sounds weird, but I will tell you, you want to go ahead and get on a bus or get on a train or some type of public transportation when you are there on campus to see how it's like. Is it easy? Is it hard? Is it accessible? Is it expensive? And a lot of colleges, which is great, offer very, very great discounts on the type of public transportation that are out there. Now, you've gone through all those factors. Do those factors make sense? If you can, everybody, can you give me a yes in the chat? Because I want to know, do those factors, do they make sense, and are they helpful for you guys? Can you give me a yes? Give me a thumbs up. Whew. All right. I will tell you, those are things that I, as a dad, have gone through myself and looked at all of those considerations. I know it's a lot, but it really allows you to go ahead and figure out and give you a lot of data and information. Me as a dad, I like information. I like as much data as I can, and to be able to assess and to talk those over and to compare. Now, let's talk about how to have a successful campus visit. This is something that I always recommend for people to do. Now, some people say, hey, Coach Art, when do you need to do that? There are times when I say, hey, you know what? The best time to visit a campus is when you've been accepted at that campus. So a lot of times I will say, if financial considerations affect your ability to go ahead and visit those campuses, then don't visit the campus physically. Wait till the student gets accepted there and then visit. But what you can do is you can go online. There's so many tours that are virtual online now with a lot of these campuses. I'm going to put a little plug to my oldest son. He actually recreated Berkeley in a particular called Minecraft. So he called it Blockly, and now they're using it as part of orientation at Berkeley. So you might want to check that out. It's called Blockly. It's really cool, but there's a lot of campuses that have orientations established for their campus visits that are online. So let's talk about campus visits. First of all, really important, before you visit, I can't stress this enough, reserve a spot for campus and housing tours. Now, there are two types of tours. The one is the formal one that's done through the admissions office. And it's important that you try to reserve them early, because if you try to reserve them at the time where everyone is off or on vacation, they want to go, that's too late, because normally there's no more spots left. You want to make sure you prepare questions ahead of time. And those questions would be based on the factors that I just talked about, that list of factors that I just talked about. Now, another thing is set up meetings with professors and clubs. So set up meetings, and professors will be more than happy to talk to you if you do it ahead of time and in advance so that they have opportunities. You offer them to take them to lunch, or just meet briefly with them, or go to their class really quickly and just say hello. As well as organizations and clubs love to talk to possible people, students that might join them. And so get in contact with them and find out. Those particular organizations might be able to give you a much more guided tour versus the ones, and a more intimate tour, which I found that some of those tours are extremely, extremely beneficial. Extremely beneficial. Another key, and this is a dad tip, set up meetings with the financial aid office. I can't tell you enough how many times people don't do this, and they regret to do this, because it's great where you sit down with a financial aid representative and you talk over, what is it going to cost for my kid to get here? But you need to do that in advance, because a lot of times if you wait when you get onto campus, there's hundreds of people that have already either planned, reserved, and scheduled, or they do it there and they slip in. But the thing is that a lot of times there's no more spots. As I mentioned, take virtual tours online. And if they have the ability to have overnight sessions where you can actually have your students sleep overnight, and if you're comfortable with that, it's a really great way to figure, and for them to figure out, is this an environment I want to be in? Or if you can sleep with them as well, be in the same room, sleeping in the housing and how it's like. Now, when you have established and you have your visit set, during the visit, you want to do a couple of things. First of all, pay attention to the campus culture, as we talked about. Look at the facilities. Are they in good shape? Look at the housing options, especially if there's a housing tour. Look at the student support services. And again, all of this is what we talked about in the factors, as well as the overall atmosphere. For students, you want to imagine yourself as a student there and assess if it feels like it's a good fit. Another thing is, and this is really important, it is important that you visit the colleges when they are in full session. So what that means is not over the summertime, but during the time when it is the fall or the spring. So you might want to organize something in which in the weekday, if your parents can go ahead and take it off, or even if you are able to get out, is to go ahead and visit the campus and see how it is when the students are going back and forth and there's hustle bustle. Because when you go there during the time when the college is in full session, you can do a couple things. One, you can sit in on a class. Now, you want to make sure that when you're sitting in a class, that you go into the bigger ones, because you don't want to go to the smaller ones where there's only 20 students. You might disrupt the class. Or if you are able to get in touch with a professor, then that professor might be able to invite you to that class. You get there early, you sit in, and you look and see how it works in a college class. Now, you also want to explore the surrounding areas. And as I mentioned, you always want to look not just in the college itself, this college environment or the college campus. You want to go outside of that to see, is there interesting? Is their life outside of the college? Because if it's next to a city, then it may be. But if it's next to, rural areas, is there things to do outside of the campus? Is it safe outside the campus? Is it interesting? Is it something that will be interesting for you when you attend that school? And most of all, take notes. I know that sounds very obvious, but a lot of times, because you're so into just excited about visiting, that you forget, and then that doesn't lead to you being able to document all of the things that you see at the campus so that you can evaluate that later. Another thing that I always say, and it's really is talk to the current students and talk to alumni as well. So reach out to the current students. You can either do that by talking to other organizations. You can either talk to alumni. There's a lot of alumni associations. You might even know people in your neighborhood that have attended those schools. Look at social media platforms or college forums that provide input about the college. Ask them about their experiences. Ask about the strengths and weaknesses of the school, and ask any advice that they would provide to you about prospective students and what they should look for. You will get honest and unfiltered feedback of what it's really like to attend that school, and ask about the good, bad, and the ugly. Consider as well how the college community will support you during your time there. One of the things that were really beneficial is to watch the YouTube videos about the college life from the student. But remember, I want to really stress this. That is one opinion. So you want to look at several ones, because there were sometimes when you look and maybe it's just all of the bad ones, like, oh, don't attend this school type of, but then you don't watch the ones where the school is really great. Okay. And there's a lot of different ones out there. So just make sure that, remember, it's one opinion, and that there's several opinions out there. But also, if you go on the college campus itself, look for it for yourself and see, what in your own eyes and in your own ears and your own words, how it is to be on that college campus. So now that you've done that, you've been able to go ahead and look at the schools. You have a database of information. Start comparing the schools and look at the academic fit, the financial fit, the campus life and culture. What I would recommend is to put this in a database, in a spreadsheet, where you're putting all of the information and all of the factors that we talked about. You want to create a scale so that with those factors, you assign a 1 to 5. Okay, 5 being the most positive reaction versus 1 being the lowest. And then what you're going to do is you're going to give a 1 through 5 or 1 through 10, whatever the scale is, for all of those different factors. Add up the scores and see which schools have the highest score. Then you take those scores and you prioritize those schools, and then there you go, as you have your rankings based on all of the criteria and the factors that we just talked about. So you have now done all of your research. You've looked all the factors. You visited the schools. You have compared and contrasted and talked with each other and figured out what is your rankings. Now you want to make your decision. And what does that look like? You want to, of course, create the list, a short top choices. You want to do, and what you want to do is you make a decision. Think about all of the time that you took. Take some time and then make a decision. And the key thing is be happy. And then there's one little thing I'm going to talk about in a couple of slides here. But making this decision shouldn't be rash. It really should be where you have all these factors in place that you've really evaluated, you've done your homework, and now you're able to make an educated decision. So we have this, but I'm going to give a little bit of plug here. So as you know, College Admission Secrets, we offer a bunch of programs, and our programs, we're very proud of them. But one of those things that a lot of probably your 2025ers right now are looking at is, how am I going to make it into these colleges? I'm going to be filling out your college applications. Well, we have a college application intensive. What does that look like? It's a 2-day intensive workshop event where we help our students finish their college applications in 2 days. It's a small group setting, 15 students per weekend. We fly out our coaches to the various locations. These are normally in California. It is unlimited one-on-one coaching, editing, and revising of this sessions. We look through all the UC, the CSU, and the common applications, and maximum of 5 supplements. There's some homework that you need to get done before those events, and we even start live out. We started our live office hours in April. Here's a little bit of what it looks like. Myself and Coach David and Coach Tony helping students in our Irvine office. And here are the available intensive. Yes, we have now sold out the ones that are crossed out here, but we still have July 13th and 14th at UC Berkeley, 20th and 21st in UC Davis. We also have Long Beach City College in August 17th and 18th. And we also have a Los Angeles site on August 24th and 25th, and Ontario September 14th, 15th. I will tell you a little bit of secret. It's not locked in completely 100%, but I believe that for our Los Angeles site, it's going to be at UCLA. So that's going to be really exciting and cool too. So if you are interested in this weekend, please go ahead and text us weekend, the word weekend, at 415-938-8721. Again, text us weekend at 415-938-8721. Weekend, 415-938-8721. So now let's get back into it. Remember how I said there is a final factor that I did not talk about, and this is where I'm going to talk about it now. I have seen it so many times where the students are so conflicted and they're like, oh gosh, Coach Art, I don't know how to select between these two schools. Well, the last piece of it is trust your instinct, because you want to get what I call the feels. And what that is you want to go onto that campus. That's where I mentioned is when you get acceptances to all of the colleges, you want to visit those colleges now with the intent of not all the stuff that we went through, because you've already done that. But if you haven't, that's great. Then you go ahead and do all those factors. But you want to step on the campus and you want to pay attention to your instincts and how you feel about that college. What is your gut feeling when you walk onto that campus? The people that you interact with, the overall impression during your research and your visits. Does it feel like this is a place you want to attend? Now, what I would say and encourage you to do, because a lot of times the acceptances start coming out February, March, and April, and then normally May 1st is signing day, decision day. You want to give yourself time to be able to make that decision. So go on those campuses, visit them, get that gut feeling, but give yourself some time, take a break from the decision-making process if you feel overwhelmed or confused. Give yourself some time, clear your mind, okay? Remember, right for others does not mean it is right for you. Having your friends go to this one school doesn't mean it is right for you, because they will have different consideration and factors that you do. Now, of course, it is important to set up your community and have a community with you when you first start school and frankly throughout the school. But if you get the feels and you have others there that are of like mind or that you feel comfortable with over there, you can form a community very quickly. Just remember that your intuition is an important factor in making that decision. So remember the feels. That is the last part. Remember the feels after you look at all those factors. Now, you may be wondering, Coach Art, you talked about all these factors. Where do I get this information? Does anybody want any college search tools or resources? If you do, can you please say yes? Can you please say yes in the chat? Can you please put that? Does anybody want it? Oh man, I don't see a lot of yeses there. Okay, does anybody want these resources? Because I could just bypass this. If you don't want it, then I can just bypass this. I see. Okay, I see some yeses. Okay, I see some. All right, good. All right, just want to make sure you guys are out there. All right, we still have so many people on the line. This is just amazing. Again, I am so honored, and I just feel so privileged that you are with me tonight. So here are some college search tools for you to find the information about all the factors that I talked about. First of all, school information and research. There are some great research websites. The College Board, amazing, www.collegeboard.org. They have a lot of information about the various colleges. U.S. News and World Report, you've probably seen their lists. They have a great site. Go on to their website and look at the college lists that they have. Niche.com. I mentioned this before. It is an incredible site that has a lot of information, especially that taking that college quiz. You could take that college quiz. They ask you a series of questions, and then based on their database, it gives you, here are the schools that might be ideal for you as well. Okay. There is also Petersons.com. Okay. Now, Petersons.com has really great information about, again, the information about the schools. It also has information, offers wide range of information on colleges, including the programs, admissions, and financial aid. And then you probably heard of Princeton Review. It offers a wide range of comparisons, rankings, reviews, and detailed profiles of the colleges. Now, for financial aid, there are a lot of great financial aid, and I've shown this list before, and I still abide by it. Bowl.org, scholarshipowl.com, Go Mary, and especially the College Board, again, but going to bigfuture.collegeboard.org. These are great resources for you to find scholarships, various scholarships that you can go. And remember, I'm talking about these are private scholarships, okay? Private scholarships. Now, here is another set of research websites. First of all, remember talking about school ratings. There's a lot of great opportunities here under College Navigator. It is a tool provided by the National Center for Education Statistics that compares colleges based on various criteria. So look up the College Navigator. CapX. CapX allows and offers college reviews, scholarship information, and even a comparison tool. So remember how we did the compare and evaluate? This is a great tool to do that. Mentioned about, again, College Board. They also have a college comparison tool. And another cool one is called College Confidential. It's a forum-based site where students and parents can discuss colleges, admissions, financial aid. Remember how I mentioned is to inquire with actual parents and students? Well, here it is. A lot of great ways to be able to find out conversations about the colleges. Another thing is, if you want, we've always talked about this, is ratemyprofessor.com. Go on to ratemyprofessor.com and take a look at all the professors there and see how they fare with respect to people commenting on how good they are or possibly how bad they are. Here's another couple of resources for tuition, housing, and costs. Affordable Colleges Online. This site is really great because it provides information on affordable colleges and cost-saving tips. College Raptor, which helps families find colleges that fit their budget. So you put in your budget and the needs, and then it helps you find particular colleges. Unigo, which offers college reviews, scholarship information, and tools to calculate college costs. And if it's the case where your student may be renting possibly an apartment or some type of housing, this helps students find off-campus housing near their colleges. So with that said, how many people want a freebie? You might say, well, Coach Art, can you give us something? Well, yes, I can. Of course, I always love to give freebies. How many people want these freebies? How many people want these freebies? If you can, please type search. Please type search in the chat. Please type search in the chat. Type search in the chat. And what I'm going to be providing you is, first of all, this list of useful resources, okay? Please type search in the chat. Type search in the chat. And I'm going to give you that list, this list of resources, okay? Don't type yes, type search. I love it. Type search. Now, the second thing is, you might say, well, Coach Art, how am I going to log all of this information that you provided on the factors? Well, guess what? I created a college selection workbook. It is a Google sheet that allows you to be able to enter in all that information and ask the questions that I showed you in all of those factors, and you can start entering and keep them as a database. So If you want that, type in search or type in text search at 415-938-8721. Again, type in search at 415-938-8721, and I will get you the college selection useful resources as well as the Quick Start College Selection workbook. Again, text search at 415-938-8721. Now, I do want to give a plug for Coach Tony, who is not here, but guess what? This coming Thursday, June 27th at 8 p.m., he is actually going to interview one of our Bay Area coaching students that got accepted to over 20 plus colleges as a computer science and engineering major. It is amazing. I would highly, highly not miss this, because there's a lot of great insights that you might see and hear about this Bay Area student who got accepted to so many schools. An amazing story. UCLA, USC, UCI, USD, Cal Poly SLO, so many more. That's this coming Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you want to go ahead and look at and join us for that, please go ahead and express that. Let us know. Now, another thing. Next week, I'm going to be doing a session about activity writing. So remember, last session we did about writing your prompts, your essays. I'm going to do one about activity writing, but what I'd like to do is, does any student out there interested in joining me to actually run through your activity list, and we will actually write them online? I can only pick one. So if you, the student, is interested in me reviewing your activity list and actually helping you write online live, I want you to text art activity at 415-938-8721. Art activity at 415-938-8721. I can only pick one student. So if you're interested, text art activity at 415-938-8721, and I will help you write your activities next Tuesday. Okay, next Tuesday. But I can only pick one. I'm not going to play favorites. I'm just going to pick out a name out of a hat when we put them all together and figure out that. Okay. Now, the next thing is, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A, but if you are interested, if you think that you need help, get our help with helping you write your applications, the right classes, the right activities, the right courses out there, and help you with your college admissions journey, then book a free 15-minute assessment call with us, please, because we can definitely help you. So what I want you to do is to go ahead at 415-938-8721. Again, text book to book that assessment call. Text book. If you want to join our college application intensive for the available weekends, type in weekend. And if you want the freebie that I'm talking about, if you want the freebie, which is the two, right? The list of resources list and the workbook, type in text search at 415-938-8721. So really quickly, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to go through and see if there's any questions, Q&As. Let's see if there's any questions out there. Let's see if there's any questions. If there's any questions, let's see here. So questions, Q&A questions. Okay. My daughter is a junior. Should we be applying now? No, he should not be applying now. The applications would not be open for a junior. They wouldn't consider her. Well, let me take this back. Unless your daughter is a junior and she is graduating early from high school, or she has the necessary requirements to graduate and to be accepted into those colleges, then yes, you could. But typically, as a junior right now, you won't do that until after a junior. You want to start your summer before your senior year. Does a student need to write essays for scholarships? Very good question. For scholarships, if they only ask for your name, phone number, email address, do not, absolutely do not go for those. That is a scam. They are just looking to get your information so they can sell your information on a list. If there is no work, there is no scholarship. So you usually have to do some type of essay, submit some type of work, a song, a dance, a video, insight, something like that. That is how the legitimate scholarships are out there. Okay, so that's that. Wow, I didn't have a lot of questions this time. Let's see. Oh, does meeting a professor help with getting admitted? No, it does not. So I know people say, okay, but the professors do not have any weighting on the admissions process. You may have some professors on the counselor though, but if they are, then they are not able to speak with people because that's a conflict of interest. Getting admitted, but what they can do is they can give you a perspective of how the campus is, the type of students that are out there, possibly give you insights on what the type of students out there, but they would not be helping out in the sense of being admitted. Okay, we have hit our time. We have hit our time. So again, I'm going to put this up one more time. Here is the phone number to send the messages. Again, 415-938-8721. 415-938-8721. If you want to book an assessment call, text in book, type in weekend for our college admission, our college application intensive, type in search if you want the freebies from my presentation. And if you are interested in being a student for next week to write, and remember, it's live, so everyone's going to see it. It's live. Type in art activity, and I will choose from the list. Okay, I will choose from the list. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being with me tonight. Again, I'm always so honored and privileged that you take your time. You could be doing anything else, but you have reserved your time with me, and I am always so grateful and appreciative. So thank you for being with me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week on Tuesday, where we are going to be editing a student's activity, as well as remember to don't forget to join Coach Tony while he interviews a Bay Area student that made it into 20 plus schools. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you around the bend. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.